Hello, everyone. This is Duni from Drew Academy, and that's where we support people in enhancing their well-being, especially if they have experienced a loss. Now, the last few weeks we've been talking about grief, we've talked about thoughts and our feelings and emotions. We talked about in more detail last week. This week we're going to talk about a tool that many of us can use to help become more self aware. And by becoming more self aware, we can actually enhance our well being. Now, what's this tool I'm talking about today? It is called mindfulness. And some people call it mindfulness meditation, some people just call it mindfulness practice. What is mindfulness? Mindfulness is a practice where you are focused on a certain thing during a period of silence or stillness. And in that practice, it works as an exercise to enhance your focus. Now, you remember the last few weeks when we'll be talking about thoughts and emotions and feelings? During those times, to actually harness the power of control over your thoughts or your emotions, you need to be able to pay attention, be present, and also be mindful of the way you think or feel. So that's why this tool is very important. We're going to describe what people can do with regards practicing mindfulness. It usually doesn't need you to spend too long of a time. I know many people that think about meditation think you go cross-legged somewhere in a cave or you have to spend hours meditating. No, that's not the way it works. Mindfulness seems to be a bit more user friendly, I would say. And I know we are all busy people. Many times we run around doing one thing or the other, and we can't just put our lives on hold just because we want to be mindful. The good thing about it is mindfulness practice can also be carried out in a very busy lifestyle. Right, so going back to how mindfulness works, most of the time we use ourselves because when you're doing mindfulness meditation, the most important and probably the only person there for yourself will be you. So, what do? You use yourself. Now, there's something we all have in common, and that's our breath. Because without the breath, there is no life. And so, focusing on the breath helps us to be mindful of what's happening regarding that breath and also strengthens our focus. Right, so we're just going to do a very quick one. It's not going to take too long, okay? So, if you're able to find a quiet place, just sit down. You can set your timer for about 5 minutes. And if you feel 5 minutes is too long, set it for 3 minutes. And just lay it down. Most times we say sit comfortably. So shoulders back, head up straight. So just imagine an imaginary thread is holding you up straight. So you're comfortable, but you're relaxed. And when you sit that way, you put your hand on your tummy. Now, when you put your hand on your tummy, the aim is to help you focus on the movement when you're taking breaths. What we aim to do is to take deep breaths, okay? So we'll start by taking a deep breath in and out. Now, when you breathe in, usually your tummy comes out because you're filling your lungs, the pressure in your tummy increases, and that pushes it out. And when you breathe out, it goes back in. So, some people are very good at feeling their breath. Sometimes you can feel the air, cool air going through your nose. Some people feel it somewhere but at the back of their nose. Some people feel it going down, like filling their lungs. Some people feel their chest expand. And some people feel their tummy go bigger. Now, if you're not used to mindfulness meditation or breath work, it is good to just put your tummy there, because put your hand on your tummy because that helps you get a feel of how your breath moves your body. Okay? So when you do that for a couple of deep breaths, you then move over to normal breath depth of breathing, like that. Okay? So when you breathe, the reason why we say close your eyes is because we all have our senses. We've got the sense of smell, hearing, sight, touch, taste. Now, obviously, you're sat here, you're not going to be tasting anything. You can hear things, but obviously, that's why we say go to a quiet place. You can feel things, but that's another way of practicing mindfulness. We'll get to that. But when you see things, it can be distracting. And that's the reason why sometimes it's better to just close your eyes or just a lower gaze. So it's more like you're looking downwards, but you're not particularly focusing on anything. Now, when you do your focus on your breath, like we said the last time, your mind is a supercomputer. It's constantly producing thoughts. They're just bouncing back and forth. Sometimes your mind will just go through to maybe what you need to do later on, or what you did yesterday that wasn't quite right, or something you did partly but you need to complete. It takes you to many places, and sometimes you just probably remember a movie or a cartoon you watched. Very weird way the mind works. But when you feel those, when you hear those kind of, you perceive those kind of thoughts, just note them. And most times, realize what you're doing and just say to yourself quietly, thinking. And then you bring yourself back to the breath. So if you're focused on the way your hand is moving on your tummy, or you're focused on where you're feeling the cool air go in and the warm air comes out, then you just focus back on wherever it is you placed your attention on. It is very important sometimes to follow the breath all the way in. And you will notice that there is a pause in between the breathing in and the breathing out. And that really does help. When you follow that, before you know it, your timer rings and you go, oh, I've done mindfulness for 3 minutes. Awesome. So that's one way to do mindfulness practice or mindfulness meditation. Another way people do it is the same environment you're in, quiet, minimal distraction. You can set your timer, sit comfortably, and you just think about what you're feeling now. Some people do what they call a body scan. And what the body scan does is perceiving. So now you're not using your ability to focus on the breath. You're focusing on different parts of your body. So you might start from your head and then go low down all the way to your feet. So while you sat down, you remember I spoke about all our senses. With this other practice of mindfulness, you perceive what you feel in your feet. You might feel some cool breeze. You might feel some pain. You might feel some discomfort, maybe the way you placed your feet. Don't judge it. Just notice it and then move on. You then come to your legs. So we're coming upwards. And you might feel maybe a bit of an onset of a cramp within your feet, your leg, or you might feel some itchy sensation that you'll probably be tempted to scratch. Notice it and then come up. So the idea behind that is the ability to fix your attention, move your attention, fix somewhere else, move somewhere else. So you can just imagine you've got an elastic band. You're just pulling and letting it relax. Pull, stretch, relax, stretch, relax, stretch, relax. Now that's pretty much what we are doing. Now, thankfully, mindfulness is a practice we can cultivate. So you can go from a non-practice practitioner of mindfulness and become an expert in it. Now, well, expert is relative. And the reason why I say that is even the people who have practiced mindfulness for a long time sometimes find it that they are distracted occasionally. But the good thing about mindfulness is that you can always come back and you don't judge yourself because all that is part of self love, it's a part of acceptance of yourself. So these are practices that you can do to help strengthen your muscle of self awareness because self awareness is one of the keys to improving your well being. Use mindfulness in the morning when you wake up to help you focus. You can also use it at some time in the day if you're free, 3 minutes. That's all it takes, maybe five. And if you have more time, 10. Now, some people might not have the experience and they may want some more resources. Thankfully, you can find resources on YouTube. So just go on Google and just type in mindfulness meditation, and there's some recorded mindfulness where someone can talk you through, okay, take a deep breath in and put your hand here and do this and that. And some people like that directed mindfulness practice. You can try that. Other things you can do is to use apps. So people use things like the app Headspace or the app Calm. These are useful apps that help you with your mindfulness practice. So I hope you found this useful, talking about this tool that is so important with improving and enhancing our self-awareness. So if you found this useful, please share it, like it, and please subscribe so you don't miss further episodes. Next week, we'll talk about some other important thing that is relevant to your well-being, to promote and to boost your well-being in such a way that you can positively influence those around you. Okay? So, this is Duni again from Drew Academy. I wish you the best and I ask that you stay well. Take care.